If you play in the salt like us kayak fishermen, your gears are gonna get salty and all kind of residue and sometimes fish smell and other things. So, as I've noticed in my few previous kayaking trip, that my zippers are getting stuck from too much buildup of salt from the salt water and the waves crashing, and a little salt buildup all over my life jacket, and my wetsuit's pretty salty. So I figure wash the wetsuit and wash the life jacket and kind of let it soak in and clean it out a little bit. Because you want your gears to work properly and last a little bit longer, so a little maintenance is always good. So the other day I was washing it and I found out there's a little rip right here just from where the butt meets the seat, and this part never really do too much other than just sitting on the seat with my legs back and forth on the Hobie, and as you can see on the inside, a little bit of the material has ripped, and on the outside it's starting to rip pretty big, so I could stitch the outside, but I need to seal the inside. So from the inside it doesn't look too bad. Still need to fix it so water doesn't go in. I decided to cut open a little bit of the cloth away to kind of see how bad the damage is underneath, and it's not that bad. It's a little rip, but could be easily repaired, and when I'm done I will just stitch the cloth right back onto the stitching. It should be good. I have a fishing trip coming up ahead, and I can't use an old wetsuit. I could, but I don't want to make the tear any bigger or make the hole bigger or ruin it by overusing. And while I'm ordering the stuff to fix it, and I'll show you in a little bit, I figure I might as well order another wetsuit and use a new one so I don't break the old one. And plus this way I have two, and I could kind of switch them back and forth, and rather than destroying one quicker, I could have two and just make it last longer. And plus the new one's a little bit nicer and pretty clean looking. I did notice that the new one is smoother in the butt, and the old one has like a fabric on it, which is pretty nice too. But we'll see if the new one will last longer or if it's any difference. But other than that, they look pretty similar, and I always thought the old one was a 3 mil, but it's only a 2 mil, but the new one is a 3. So here's the look again after a few more days of letting everything clean out, dry out, ready for the prep, ready for the new stuff to put on there, which is contact cement from Aqua Seal Neo. And after doing all this, I'm actually surprised at how well this stuff works. So I tore the back open so I could stick some glue or cement on the inside. I thought about doing it from the underneath inside the wetsuit so you don't see it, but I go black on black, so you can't really tell. And yeah, I figure if I do that, it should be good. And from what the online says and from what the website says is get either a toothpick or a cotton swab and just cut off the cotton part so you could put some of the cement on it and the cotton don't get in the way. So just apply it straight on it and then smash it later. And I bought a little bit of this iron on, so if you do have a rip, you could just iron on, leave the white side or the gray side onto the actual surface and the black side so you can iron on top. And there's a white piece of paper in the middle, and you put that over it and then you can iron it on. But I bought this just in case the cement doesn't work, so at least I had two different type. So here I'm using some pinchers from hanging your clothes on the wire or rope, and they're great because you can pinch the fabric open, and I'm grabbing a piece of the fabric and pushing it back as I'm pitching down, so it doesn't fall back onto the actual rip part. So when I do apply the cement, it's easier to apply on, so nothing's really touching and it can actually sit a little bit better. This is my first time actually fixing or repairing a wetsuit, and I'm not really sure what I'm doing. So I figure I'll just add little by little. Try not to add too much, because I seen some people online on YouTube and they apply so much black stuff on there that it's pretty much coated and covered. But the directions says to apply a little bit on each side of the rip, and then you want to let it sit for 5 minutes, let it dry a little bit so it gets kind of tacky, and then you come back with another second coat and let the second coat sit for 10 minutes, and then after that you pinch it together or lay it down flat and push it together seamlessly, so that way it looks like it's back to normal, and it's just sealed right away, and you should be ready to go back into the water. If you are at the ocean or pretty much on the parking lot ready to go, if you do have a hole, this stuff is pretty useful, and you might be stuck on the shore for a little bit, maybe 20-30 minutes, but after that you could be right in and all fixed, ready to go. After the second coat, this is what it looks like. It looks kind of weird, kind of tacky, kind of like it's not gonna fit right, like it's just wrong. It looks weird, but it works, and yeah, you just have to pinch it and it should be fine. I think I put a little bit over the hole. At first I thought, you know what, I don't know if that's gonna be a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, here's are the instructions, and you could pause it and read it or get it online, and it's all there. It's pretty simple. The 10-minute drying process has ended, so I'm trying to slowly try to do it as neatly as possible, moving the fabric a little bit and then laying it down as perfect as I can. Underneath the wetsuit, I have a piece of cloth in there, and I'm trying to place the cloth over so that way if I do push it down, it doesn't seep through or leak through into the underside. And then now I'm trying to stretch it a little bit, see if it's actually holding, and surprisingly it's not bad. I thought about stitching it and just pull it back to the seam, but I just apply a little bit extra underneath the cloth and kind of gently pull it back into where the stitching are at, and this is the finished product. Or after everything's all glued together, it's pretty damn good, dude. Like, you see me stretching and it's not moving, it's not budging, and I don't think your butt's gonna stretch that much to rip another one. Plus the cloth, it's also glued into it. And on the underside, I cut a little piece of the other material and apply a little bit of the black goo, the cement, on the wetsuit and on the cloth. And then once it got tacky, I pressed it on and let it seal overnight, and look at that, it's pretty good. Very little, very thin, and I don't think water's gonna seep in through that hole anymore, and it's pretty much patched, ready to go. And it looks a little lighter on the video, but in real life it's actually black. So yeah, old wetsuit repaired, ready to go.